You talked about walking a path together and finding a path together. But we have this conversation that's going on that Linda's highlighted, that we don't walk together. We have different conversations about this. How can you have a growing conversation that is very contested and find a path together within that?
Well, I suppose it is difficult to have that conversation when we live in a society that's dominated by zero-sum outcomes. For example, just with the changing demographics that we have in Northern Ireland, currently 51% of all school children from nursery right through to sixth form are Catholic. Now, that strikes fear into the Protestant community. And then the way in which the election south of the border was celebrated, and I'm a fan of Mary Lou's, but you know, euphoria in one camp very naturally results in fear in the other, and somehow or other we have to get ourselves to win-win outcomes where one side's not going to be on the mountaintop and the other in the valley. Now, something that helps to moderate my fear and should moderate the euphoria and possibly assist all of us to identify that there's everything to be gained by talking as we move into the future, however that will unfold. And it is this: the Good Friday Agreement, signed in 1998, it resulted in an unintended outcome. And what was that? It was the emergence of a new self-identity, namely Northern Irish. So people growing up in this little bit of space here, they can either be British, they can either be Irish, or they can be Northern Irish. Now, to me, that just sends a little sort of oar right through the old assumptions that if you're a nationalist, you'll vote for a United Ireland. If you're a unionist, you'll cling slavishly to the union. You, the gentleman there, quoting some statistics from the Institute of Irish Studies by the Liverpool University, and I was gobsmacked when I learned that some of his statistics suggest that 1 in 3 SDLP voters would not want to be in a United Ireland, and 1 in 10 Sinn Féin voters would not want to be in a United Ireland. You know what that suggests to me? This is complex, but it is not beyond any of us if we're willing to approach this with an open mind. And we obviously must be wanting to arrive at a situation where the outcome will be that the generations growing up, and we're speaking on their behalf, and maybe we don't have a right to do that, because people in positions of prominence will have passed on, and the young people will be around to take this forward. Which is why I think, given that we shouldn't be fearful, because the statistics, there's lies, damn lies, and statistics, this really told us, and this is true, but they're can I use the analogy of a glacier? Glaciers, since the beginning of time, have carved mountains, and they have sculpted out river valleys, and that big river of ice, what does it do? It moves slowly. And I think, as I said to a bride on last Saturday at my church in Monrea, which doesn't have an aisle like Westminster Abbey, I said to them, there's one word I want you to remember as you walk down towards me at the front, and it's slow, walk slow. I think we have to move slowly. Change very often has a slow fuse. We need to bring everybody together. Albert Camus says, don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk with me and be my friend. That's what we can arrive at. And you were suggesting I was an optimist. I hope I'm a realist, but I am optimistic. I tend to try and see the glass half full. But Nelson Mandela's definition of optimism, you know what it is? It's keeping your face pointing to the sun and your feet moving forward, and I want us all to move forward, not one in front of the other and the other behind, but together. And who knows, it could take It could take longer than any of us have on this planet. Our children could be picking up this conversation to further develop what the future for all of us on these islands will be like. But I want it to be peaceful, and I want it to be prosperous, and I want nobody to feel they're living in the cold.